Oh, I'm sorry out of breath. I'm trying to give an honest account of like the strongest encounter I've had with God that changed me. Like literally from standing upright to completely upside down. Which was good because I had just left the skinhead's house and it was the first house I'd had on my own in peace and quiet, like since I'd lost the kids, 2010. So basically when I got the house it was so lovely and everything, but I've never felt so worse in all my life. I don't know why. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know, even though I was in the house and I was safe and in the Gorbals and I was where I'd been brought up, I couldn't see to the right of me, to the left of me. I did not know what was going on, you know, and I kept trying to, when I was thinking about cooking, I couldn't acknowledge in my brain that how come you go from cooking for 7 every night, 3 times a day, to cooking for none, psychologically. So I think I never even acknowledged what had happened with my children mentally until 2010, because that was the first time I'd had a decent sleep to, you know, because straight away they put me in terrible places. So from 2004 to 2004, after all the oppression and the Jehovah's Witnesses, to go from 2003 to 2010, so that's 6 years of pure chaos, being kidnapped and all the rest of it. So anyway, so it's 2010, I think, like I can't really remember, right, but I was in town and I couldn't move to the right or the left of me, and there was a big bin beside me, you know, the big smelly ones that are overflowing with shit, and I got stuck there, and it was just near our chaos, right, or under the arches, and I couldn't move. I don't know, it was mentally wrong with me, I don't know what it was, I could not move to the right or the left of me, and I knew it was God was doing something, and in a way, deep down, not knowing at the time, looking back, I must have been a wee bit happy, because at least I thought, well, someone's taking control of my life. If I can't move, somebody's helping me, because obviously what would I normally do, but just, I was in shock and just sit and stare at the wall. So when so many things happen to you for such a long period of time, it's like being in the war, isn't it? It's like you've been in a war, so if you've been in a war for 5 years, you're not exactly going to come out and be normal, are you? So anyway, so I'm stuck beside this bin and it's stinking right up my nose, and not that I could smell it, but I just knew this is not a kind of place I would normally want to stand. You know, and the pollution and all the bus smoke was going in my face, and I could not get away from that spot, and it was like there wasn't even people round about me to say, can you help me, I can't move, you know, because my mouth couldn't even speak. I suppose it's like sleep paralysis standing up, right? So eventually, I don't know how, but I had a feeling, or there was like it was like an aura from where I was standing back to my house. And it was like, you must go back to your house. You cannot go any further than this. And I was like, oh, somewhere to go, an instruction, a way out, you know. And it was just like, it was almost like if I looked to the right towards my house, it was paradise. But up the street was just going to be more of the bins, the pollution, and it was going to get worse. So I quickly went back to my house, and from there I started hearing that voice, or feeling the aura around my house, like, oh, there's a nice feeling in the kitchen, go in there. And then I'd go in the kitchen and I'd be sitting there, and then I'd look at the fridge, and the fridge would look like as if it was inviting me to go and open it, because I wasn't eating, I wasn't even acknowledging that I wasn't eating to myself, you know. And then I would open something up and I'd have butters and crackers, and all of a sudden I'd get a wee endorphin of, wow, I'm eating something, or just, I don't know. And that just went on from there, and literally, and obviously it's God, he was just spending second by second with me. And once I'd finished my food, I would just be in the daze again, like what, not automatically putting my plate away like I would do now. I would think, I'll put my plate away, do my dishes, I'd just sit and eat it, and then think, did not know what to do next. And then I would feel a nice feeling in my kitchen over the sink, and I would go and wash it, you know, and it just goes from there. So I think I don't judge by what I see or hear or anyone tells me. It's about where the Spirit of the Lord is in my house. So for example, I was lying in bed one day and I felt my body, something took over my body and made my head turn and look at a window. And the way my head turned and looked at the window was, close that window, as if there's someone trying to climb in it. So I got up and closed the window. So these are the way I go on, because if anybody thinks that anybody can live through having 6 children taken off them, being raped throughout their whole lives, having no human rights throughout their whole lives, being, you know, from a childhood my mum used food to control us, you know, many times waking up during the night, I'm so hungry, I can't sleep, Mum, I can't sleep, and she would say, have a sip of milk. Now if I had more than a sip of milk, I wouldn't get fed the next day, so it had to be a sip by fucking sip. Do you know what I'm saying? So to have that throughout my whole life, and then to be told from, oh, obey the police. No, we don't like the police. Obey the government. No, we don't like the government. Obey the public. They're the ones that know. No, don't obey the public. Do you know what I'm saying? The police are against the Jehovah's Witnesses, so they say, but they're not really. They're all just one big trap. All these protests and everything you're having are useless. They're useless because the government know exactly what they're doing. They have been too close to God. That's the problem. The government have been too close to God, so they have had that shine on them as well, because He has given them power in the past to keep order. Because the Bible says that if you disobey, the only reason you should have fear of authorities if you're disobeying the authorities. And there must have been laws that King Cyrus put down of human rights and that other laws have come from that the Lord was happy with enough to keep going. But now, because they're just doing wickedness all the way through and they're using the power that He's given them to torture the people, maybe they don't know they're doing it because they're so blind. And then maybe that's why I'm being made to speak. You know, they've reached their maximum in evil, so He's destroying them. And now they're saying, what are you doing, God? I thought we were supposed to be leaders. Because the people and leaders also look at the public and say, look at the state of them, God. You know, remember it was the devil who said to God, look at Job. You only love him because of all the good things that you do